Is Factor 75 worth it? Well, I tried it out over this past week, and just for you, I'm going to tell you if I would order it again. And the answer is, as I've been getting these meal kits and trying them out, the big question that kind of floats around with a lot of these are, is they worth it? Is they worth it? Are they worth it? And specifically with Factor 75, because these are pre-made fresh meal kits delivered to your door. And I tend to think of them like TV dinners. It's nothing like that. It is much more fresh, much more a healthier version, all of that kind of stuff. The question is sound. Is it worth paying the money to get these meal kits versus ordering something from the grocery store, picking it up, making it yourself, going to a restaurant, all those sorts of factors. And the big factor, obviously, is the price. Now, when I ordered it, it averaged out to about $10 per meal, and I had a pretty wide range. I had filet and I had a chicken taco bowl. So on average, it was about $10 a meal. And obviously it may be different for you depending on if you have a discount, which by the way, we have a discount code in the description below. Really good, lots of money off of your order, and then you can pick how much and how frequently you want that. So definitely click that if you want to try that out. But in general, we'll say, for argument's sake, they're $10 a meal. That's certainly not the cheapest option out there. There's definitely easier, cheaper ways to get food, but it's also not the most expensive. When you think about, even to go to a fast food place and order a meal, a value meal, anymore, those are over $10, $12, $13, $14, which is crazy to me, but anyway. That's not what this is about. But I think there's a lot of other factors to be considered when you're asking yourself, is it worth it? And I think the big one is the ease of use. Sure, if I went to the grocery store and got all the ingredients for one of those meals, I could make a meal similar to the lemon pepper chicken meal that I had for the whole family, and probably would work out to be cheaper per item, per meal than this, right? But I also have to look for the right deals, shop all the right ingredients, find the freshest produce, find the right pieces, use everything up, not waste anything, then all the time to cook it and all that. So you lose that ease of use thing. So that's a factor. The health factor is also another thing. I could go to the grocery store and again, buy a cheap box of macaroni and cheese and make it pretty easily and feed a family, and which, by the way, I still love that. But it's not the healthiest option. There's a lot of chemicals, there's a lot of sodium, there's a lot in those. So that's not the healthiest option, but cheaper. So that's always the kind of the give and take of that. The time element is a big factor in this. We watch the old sitcoms from the 50s and 60s, and that old family model, I would argue, never truly existed, but certainly does not exist anymore, of the wife staying home.
I put blueberries in them just the way you like.
And the husband going off to work, and the wife cooking and cleaning the house to take care of the kids, and the husband comes home and there's a hot meal waiting for him on the table. Like, that doesn't exist.
Honey, I'm home. Where's my dinner?
We live in a family where my wife and I both work full time. We have two incomes coming into the house, and we have a lot of friends that are single parents or just single and also working 2 or 3 jobs or working nights, or, we're all over the place. And I don't know a person now that would say, oh yeah, I'm not busy at all. I have nothing going on. Everybody has so many things going on, getting pulled in so many directions. And I think that society and life in general has just sped up to keep up with all of this stuff. So the idea of, let me think about what to have for dinner and plan out the right meal and get all the ingredients and cook this nice meal, that several hour block of time just doesn't exist for a lot of us. So that is a big factor. And also, I think for me personally, a lot of the time that's taken up when I'm cooking a meal, and I talked about this in some of my other reviews you can watch here on the channel, is thinking about what to make. I can look at a pantry full of ingredients and go, I have no idea what to make, which is the other piece of that. I remember my mom, when we were little, she did stay home and take care of us and cook meals and things like that. But she is a really good cook. When we didn't have a lot of money, she could open up the refrigerator, look at what was in there and the leftovers, and make it up, literally just throw ingredients together, make a casserole or whatever. We'd eat it and we'd go, wow, this is really good. You should make this again. And she'd go, I don't really remember how I did that. And I remember as I got a little bit older asking her like, oh, how did you learn how to cook? Like, you're really good at this. I like all these meals you make. And I think as I was getting ready to move out, I'd be like, how do I learn how to make this stuff? And, she just sort of picked it up and watched her mom cooking and, experimenting and trying things and doing that. So I think we forget a lot of times that cooking is a skill. And certainly the creative and trying to think of those things is also a skill. So when you tie that into the fact that we all have to eat and yet not all of us can cook, that becomes a big element. So a system like this with Factor75 where we go, okay, I just click on the meals I want and they show up, I poke holes in it, put it in the microwave, anybody can do that. Now that teeter-totter of if it's worth it or not starts balancing out. So the question, is this worth it? Is Factor75 worth it? Absolutely, 100%. Where if you're the type of person that doesn't have the time or doesn't have the desire to cook or doesn't know how to cook or just wants something easy and fresh and healthy and ready-made to just pop some holes in and throw it in the microwave that anybody can do, absolutely, 100% this is worth it. And I think the other part of that is, even if you know how to cook and know what you want to make and have the ingredients in the cupboard, who gets home from a long day's work and is like, yeah, I feel like spending an hour in the kitchen making this meal? Sometimes you just want to pull something out and eat it, which is one of the reasons why I love leftovers. It's that same effect of like, oh, here's a nice meal already made. I can throw it in the microwave, heat it up, and eat it. And this is kind of the next level of leftovers. It's already pre-made and it's delicious and yummy, and it takes the work out of it. Because I would say those are the big factors for me that, yeah, I know how to cook certain things well, but sometimes I just don't feel like it. And so when I think about this service, Factor75 or ones like that, would I order it again? Yes. And here's the scenario in which I would order it, is going, oh, we have a really busy week coming up with all of our schedules. We have different things going on and we just want to have some meals on hand. Sometimes my wife and I are on different schedules and we're each coming and going at different times. This is perfect to have these in the refrigerator, knowing that a week like that or a month is coming up like that, to go, okay, when we need it, we can pull these out and cook it. I don't know if it's something that I will incorporate into my regular weekly routine, simply because of the cost. I could see it getting more and more expensive if I was getting these every week. On the flip side of it, it's not like a TV dinner in the sense of, oh, let me order some, throw them in the freezer and forget about them, and then if I need them 3 months down the road, I can pull them out in an emergency and eat them. It's not quite that either. So it really is that middle ground of going, hey, we're going to be busy coming up. Let's get some of these, have these on hand. And also as our daughter gets older, I could see that being a scenario where something easy that she can throw in the microwave and eat. She gets home from school, is hungry, and can just make something for herself. Those scenarios. And if you're in any of those situations, this is absolutely worth it for you. Again, I try to make it even more worth it for you by bringing the price down in the discount link below so that you can try those out that way. By all means, click the link, try it out for the first time, and jump in and give it a shot and see if you think it's worth it. Because, I will say I was a little skeptical when I first ordered this to try it out but I was curious. I wanted to see how it works. And if you want to see my initial reaction to unboxing and cooking the first meal, I'll have a link here on the screen to be able to click that so you can see my first experience, first taste test of trying out Factor75. Check it out.